Welcome to What? You haven't seen that? With your host, Joe Chincharik. And on today's film, we're going to be talking about Romy and Michele's high school reunion with my guest, Billy Pollihan. Hey, how you doing, Billy?
I'm doing well, Joe. I'm doing well.
So, I'll just get right into it. This was an unusual choice, to say the least. Just kind of, it's coming from the right. It's not one of those movies I'd think of for myself of like, holy shit, you haven't seen that movie. So what made you pick it to start off?
Well, one, it's a late '90s film. I feel like those don't get as much love as they should, and I'm more of like cult films.
Okay.
Like I'm really into cult films, like Rocky Horror Picture Show and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, you're a fan of.
Yeah, whenever I don't see one, I'm just like, oh man, no. And then people made references to it, and then they were like, you haven't seen that? Pretty appropriately, the show.
It works. Yeah, it works. Okay, so that's cool. What kind of cult films, what's your favorite, and where are you leaning more towards? Like mine, like I'm a big So Bad It's Good fan of movies, so like I'm a big like Troll 2 and like The Room type fan, but those are my type of cult movies. But what about yourself?
Mine are really all kinds. I too love Troll 2, and The Room is one of the movies that people have to watch. I mean, You will be forever changed if you watch that movie. And
but for anyone listening about The Room, I want to say you watch it with a group or a couple people.
Yes,
it's a much better experience if you have someone to vibe off of, because if you try to do that just on your own, you're going to be like, what the fuck did that person make me watch? Anyway, so Romy and Michele. So basically, just for anyone that's not familiar, the plot is two dim-witted, inseparable friends hit the road for their 10-year high school reunion and co-connect with an elaborate lie about their lives in order to impress their classmates. That's the description from IMDb. It stars Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow is like peak Friends at this point. I mean, this movie came out in 1997. And Mira Sorvino is also they have a very good chemistry. That is one thing I picked up from this. I'm not gonna lie, personally, the movie didn't fully connect with me. There are plenty of other comedies that I would watch before this, and buddy comedies too. There's a it is a very cult film. Like you said. So what were your kind of feelings on the movie you're viewing? Because I had seen this once when I was a lot younger, and I remembered little bits of it. So this was also kind of a first watch for myself.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into when I first did this. And I was pleasantly surprised because, like you mentioned, the chemistry between Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow is really, really good. And yeah, basically, I watched this, thankfully, now at a time where I have been out of high school for a while. So I actually connected with that a little bit more because I'm like, oh yeah, it's just these people reflecting on high schools. I haven't had a reunion yet, but I feel like this is something that people go through. You want to appear successful, show that, you're doing good for yourself. And the truth is that's not going to happen to everybody.
Oh, definitely.
That's just life. And I love that even after high school, these two still live with each other and they're in their 30s. And that's amazing.
Is it amazing? Because
I mean it's really sad.
It's sad. This movie, I think, falls a classic case of a lot of comedies of if the lighting was just a little bit different and they changed the score, we would not be laughing.
Yeah, it could totally. You could make this a serious movie and it could work, but you happen to have, Lisa Kudrow on Friends, and you got Janine Garofalo, who was huge in the '90s, and she was a huge comedic like presence.
Yeah, I really liked Janine Garofalo in this movie. Her character is either hit or take. This one, I thought she was the funniest part of the movie. Her like hatred towards everything, but also like she wanted this feeling of like connecting, and then she was obsessed with she was obsessed with what's his face, Alan Cummings' character, and Sandy Frank, and but also the girls end up with him, and her ending up with essentially the Marlboro Man.
Pretty much,
the guy with the stutter.
He didn't say anything. It was Justin Theroux.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, it is a fun movie. Like, thank you for having me watch this.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I don't know if like I connect with it. But I definitely see there, like, it's like you're out of high school and you're reflecting, and I know there were beats in the movie that like lost me for a little bit of the the dream sequence at the end when it goes on. I think for like it basically the full ending is a dream sequence. Spoiler. So.
Oh no! Yeah. There's a lot that doesn't hold up as well. A lot of the pacing I felt was a little off. You can definitely tell this is a 90s film just by the way it's shot and the color scheme and everything. The fashion, for sure, is 90s.
So what were some of your, like, actually the fashion, I'll take back, the fashion is some of the funnest parts, though, because they're dressing wacky, and that plays into a huge part in this movie. And yeah, you do have the popular girls, and the popular girls, they all, except for the two, the main one, they end up having like shitty lives. Like dead end job, husband cheating. She was a real estate agent. I'm just trying to remember.
The main girl.
Yeah. The real just like the. Sorry if this is your life, but like the blandest fucking life you could possibly have, and it works. Lisa Kudrow as the girl in the back brace and her bringing that, it really is delightful. But you have to imagine there definitely were fans of Friends that went to this movie and were like, "Oh, what?"
Because she does not. Michelle Weinberger is completely different from Phoebe Buffay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, completely. They're still kind of ditzy and generally optimistic, but like
Mira Sorvino is more of
she's more Phoebe than Phoebe is.
I forgot how hot Mira Sorvino was.
Yeah, dude, I was just like, huh. I feel like I should see you more. She's got like a certain way of talking that I can't quite place.
Oh, she has a deep voice,
Yeah, very husky voice.
But she's really cute. That was one of those things in the movie where I know in my head because of Friends, Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah.
Every TV, everywhere. Mira Sorvino, you got to watch some things and really remember, like, oh yeah. I'm pulling up her IMDb right now just to more flush in what she was in. And someone's going to correct me, but Romy and Michele seems like her biggest like commercial movie where people still talk about.
Yeah. She seemed to be.
Because her dad's, she's his famous father, Paul Sorvino.
Yeah, obviously we all know Paul Sorvino from like Goodfellas and freaking, for me, The Rocketeer. Oh, okay. He always plays like Italian mobsters, or Dick Tracy. That's another good one that he's in.
Yeah, I just remember him as Paulie from Goodfellas.
Oh yeah, Mira Sorvino was in The Replacement Killers. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
And Mimic is another guilty pleasure that she was in. Totally forgot about that.
Mimic. I have not seen Mimic. Someone pick it so I could watch it.
Yeah, that is a guilty pleasure for sure. And I want to get back to Janeane Garofalo.
Yeah, go for it, bud.
I gotta say that you either love Janeane Garofalo's shtick or you don't. For me, the person that comes close to her is Aubrey Plaza. The sort of Daria-esque.
Yeah.
The world is very cynical. Or Linda Cardinelli from Freaks and Geeks. That sort of character.
Same.
I'm trying to remember her name. But
I don't know her name in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, I just call her Linda Cardinelli because that's who she is, and it's awesome. But they really utilize her comedic strengths here. Her very snappy one-liners, or just like her insulting people. It's great. The
quick cigarette. I mean, the best gag in the movie is with the quick cigarette, but was the Post-its. And then when Janeane Garofalo goes, "You didn't invent the Post-its. So-and-so invented Post-its, this and that." The girls contract to lie that they invented Post-its, but it's all over the place, and it's probably the best joke for me in the movie, just how Janeane Garofalo undercuts that immediately. One thing I want to point out, because I should have done my research before we started talking, Mira Sorvino is an Oscar winner.
Yeah, for
The Mighty Aphrodite.
And Marilyn, I believe. She
had one Oscar. Maybe it was a nomination.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, this is not a Mira Sorvino fight. One thing I think of this movie is it definitely has inspired other movies, like female-driven films. One that stands out in particular because they're so similar, it's almost a quasi-remake, is a movie that came out a couple years ago called Ass Backwards. Almost the same plot, except replace high school reunion with beauty pageant, and it stars June Diane Raphael and Casey Wilson, who are really funny women. I believe it's on Netflix. It's an okay movie. It's not good, but it's this comedy. It's literally Romy and Michele's high school reunion, just in the 2010s. So what else stands out to you in Romy and Michele, though? So
Alan Cumming as Sandy Frink, because we all knew that kid in high school, that dweeby, smart kid, Bill Gates-ish kind of kid, except he has a very, very unhealthy obsession with Michele. And I don't know why. I found myself oddly amused by it. I mean, if it was real life, I would probably not, but I was very amused just how successful he made himself.
Oh,
like there's a Simpsons character named Artie Ziff.
Yeah, he's Artie Ziff.
He's Artie Ziff from
the Ziff.
Yeah,
it would have been better if they casted John Lovitz, though.
Oh my God, can you imagine John Lovitz?
Hey, ladies. Nah, but you're right. That's a really good observation, man. Artie Ziff, yes, 100%. Except. And weirdly, I find myself like in tears after watching that prom night episode with Artie Ziff and Homer.
He tries to get essentially molest Marge.
Yeah, I'm walking on the side of the road. Do you want me to stand in the mud? Sorry, I'm a huge Simpsons fan.
No, I am too. I love it. Early Simpsons was like. That was the shit, man.
Yeah, the thing on FX has saved my life. You just hit the FXX app. You just hit random episode, and it just
it's incredible. Even some of the rounder stuff is still pretty good. There's some gems, some diamonds in the roughs in there.
Welcome to Romy and Michele's high school reunion, where we just talk about The Simpsons for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, so Alan Cummings' character, it was funny though because they swift that dream sequence in the movie. They they kind of fake you out. I almost felt like until you see Alan Cummings and his face is in that giant prosthetic.
Oh yeah,
and he's like he's like creepily handsome. He looks like handsome Squidward.
Oh my God. I was thinking the same thing. It's very, very strange. It's because, Alan Cumming always usually plays generally
weirdos.
Weird people.
Yeah. No, he's just strange.
To say that, I mean, he's an incredible actor, and for me, he is the best Nightcrawler ever. I was so pissed.
His Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I mean,
so good. They botched that. Not in X2, in X3 and beyond, because they could have done something.
Oh, they could have done so much with him. But no, I really liked Sandy Frank. I liked everybody. There's stereotypes in it, like the main girl, Christy. Just her life sucks, and I felt pissed because the main jock guy was named Billy, and that is my name. I'm like, well, I wish I was a jock in high school.
Oh, Billy. That's from The Hot Chick.
Yeah. Oh no, I get the cable guy meme of Jim Carrey pressed the glass against the glass. Billy. I get that sent to me all the time.
Okay, yeah, I actually like the jock guy's depressed storyline too, because once again, you've seen it. It's the cliche of like fat, drunk, living back in high school. But guess what? We all know that guy.
I mean, he's also a piece of shit.
They're a piece of shit. That's just, we all know that guy.
Yeah, like what he does is spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie, I can't talk. It was Christie's idea to humiliate Romy and Michele because they went to the prom with each other, obviously, and then Billy made it seem like he dumped Christy because Romy had a crush on him, and he was like, "Oh, I dumped her. I want to be with you." And then he's like, "Wait for me," and then he never shows up. And so she's crying, and then Michele dances with her. I think it's to Time After. No. That's later in the movie with Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. She plays a key role in the movie.
It does. It's a really good use of Time After Time too. The flashbacks of them playing younger, but it is using something I love when comedies like this do is they're using their age, and they're not trying to make them so young. They're just being like, we're the same actors, but they're in their 30s, and we're just pretending they're 16.
Yeah, it's every CW show that's ever aired, or WB CW show that's ever aired.
But they don't do it on purpose.
Yeah,
this is done on purpose in flashbacks, and I really appreciate that when comedies use. And there's nothing. Everything good is a well-placed Time After Time song.
Yeah, it's one of those good 80s songs that you could still probably play on like a mixtape or something, and it could work. It could work.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what they were wearing at their homecoming. I'm thinking of Spider-Man Homecoming for some reason.
No, the girl are you referring to like what they wore there?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, they're like baby. They're like it's very 90s. They're like baby like baby dresses. I don't know what they're called. Yeah. They're
it's super weird.
It's like baby. It's like almost like lingerie almost would be what like a nightgown, but women in the 90s I believe wore them as full on dresses.
Yeah, it's very weird. And then their pink and blue dresses as well. Oddly enough, they still. I think it works. Oddly enough, I think it works for them because fashion is a big key part of their personalities as well.
The ending. So fast for the full ending.
Oh yeah.
One of the Mean Girl's crony, the main Mean Girl, one of the cronies, is
one of the former cronies.
Yeah, is like Vanity Fair.
She works for Vogue.
I'm sorry. Vogue. And she is a bigwig. And basically she's like, nope, these girls have amazing style. promotes them, and they're in like boutique in like Beverly Hills, and that's it. They have a very successful ending. The only thing that's fully out of date of the scene of the ending is no one would be smoking in a store today.
No, nobody would be smoking in a store.
Or in a restaurant, or even in homes.
Yeah, smoking's changed a lot. I got to touch on something that wasn't touched upon, and it's how each of the girls see themselves. They're like, because there's a point in the movie, again, spoiler alert, where Romy is like, what have we been doing with our lives? We're both like receptionists, or no, Romy's a receptionist at a car dealership, and Michele doesn't have a job, and they're like, we haven't really done anything since high school that is of like worth and stuff. But then Michele like contrasts her, and she's like, well, I think we've made each other happy, and as long as we're happy, then it doesn't really matter what we do. Like,
yeah, that's a good message.
I think we've been doing okay for ourselves, and you know what? They have.
They you know what? They were always happy.
Yeah.
I think there's that thing of they didn't hit a full on like typical success that they wanted. Like Romy is more of the dreamer, and Michelle's the one to get down in the mud.
Yeah. I totally agree. But I got to point out, there were always like those two girls that were like inseparable as well in high school. Like, these are all stereotypes. They're stereotypes for a reason.
I know a ton of them,
and it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
they're exaggerated, but they're not entirely false.
Well, I think you see the stereotypes. They're exaggerated. That's a good way to put it, because they were definitely the girls are inseparable, but then they've kind of geared away when they went to college, and they're still friends. Like, there's not many. I mean, men too. There's not many that you see living together. In their 10-year reunion? So there'd be like 28.
Yeah, they're in their late 20s, early 30s.
27, 28 would be about your 10-year reunion. And, but they do use that pretty well, especially how it's like, how have they been living like that? One of the fathers has been helping out, and now they're on their own. Like, they stop in this house, and he's like, well, we can't really help.
Yeah. It's really funny, but I also just love the just the 90s lingo, like how they say it. They talk like, sort of Valley Girls, and
they're full on Valley Girl,
and or they use a lot of 90s terms.
Yeah,
there's the funniest thing for me was the yearbook committee person, and there's just like, fuck off. She literally tells the person to fuck off, and it's awesome.
That reminds me of the movie in the gag in Can't Hardly Wait.
I've actually never seen Can't Hardly Wait. That might be a new one to watch.
Wait, that's a good one. And is it Can't Hardly Wait? No.
Is that the one with you who love Hewitt?
Yeah, the movie's great. It's a really good movie. It's the same. It's a year later. So I'm getting confused. If it's Can't Hardly Wait, there's a girl running around, I'm pretty sure, with a yearbook and being like, you sign, and everyone's like, oh, god damn it, this fucking girl. It's like a trope in these teen movies.
That's another.
But then I think it's Can't Hardly. But then at the same time, I'm thinking the same trope is played out in Not Another Teen Movie with Melissa Joan Hart.
That's an underrated movie.
Oh, movie's great. That is
a very underrated movie. That great. Is like criminally. And guys, I will defend it.
Stop this. Watch Not Another Teen Movie. Take the stick out of your ass and laugh, because it's funny. Yeah.
It's one of those parody movies.
It works.
That they ended up, those parody movies ended up really, really sucking bad. But I like the first two Scary movies.
I like the first three.
3 has its moments. It has one of the best jokes out of all of them, and
but so
most parts a date movie, and not another teen movie. Everything else is terrible. But either way,
I'll ignore the fact that you gave date movie any credit, but not another teen movie, hysterical, and then its cast is great, Chris Evans and whatnot. So
free Captain America, everybody. If you want to see his career,
if you want to see a banana in Chris Evans, aka Captain America's ass, just watch not another teen movie.
Just go ahead.
Jake Weiler.
Oh yeah. But,
so can I answer what's it's actually kind of interesting. So I'm on the IMDb page of Romy and Michele, and people who also searched Romy and Michele, the recommended movies, are interesting.
How so?
It's Jawbreaker, which is a piece of shit. It has the same style.
I see.
Sugar and Spice, which is basically Jawbreaker, and also a piece of shit. The Craft, which is of its time. It's all right.
Is that witch movie?
Yeah, and Bring It On, which
I've never seen.
Which it's actually a pretty fun movie, but it's nothing like Romy and Michele. It was just I just wanted to call out. It's interesting what it's recommended. They're just recommending all '90s movies with women that were kind of darkly funny that came out that same time.
Yeah, it reminded me of another movie I just saw recently, Heathers, and it's kind of dark, not as dark as Heathers.
No, Heathers is
like on another level. It's awesome, but for entirely different reasons. Everyone who's listening probably knows
I'm a huge Dumb and Dumber fan, and this could be considered as like the female apparent to Dumb and Dumber. The girls have very similar tropes. I don't think it is, though. It's a different movie all on its own. But it is another movie. It is another road trip movie, though, about dreamers. Idiot dreamers.
Yeah. Like they're not complete idiots, but they're just like they're ditzy.
You know what would be a good yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I got a three triple watch. If you want to pair this movie up and watch 2 other movies, watch Romy and Michele's High School Reunion, Carrie the original, and Night at the Roxbury.
That's a very weird
but you see
feature because one of those films is not like the other.
But you see the through line.
There's a through line.
One's gonna start you off fun. One's gonna take you to a place, but you're gonna see the same tropes you see in Romy and Michele. You're gonna see of the people in Carrie, the same tropes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where I'm getting at. They're the same tropes. That's those high school.
It's very differently.
I know. Just do that. Maybe we should recommend it for our friend's show on the Odd Shape channel, which you should check out. It was a twofer. You should check out.
Oh yes, it's a twofer.
It's a twofer. You should check that one out. But anyway, so Billy, any other thoughts on Romy and Michele's High School Reunion?
I think I was just surprised generally how fun this movie is. And the chemistry between Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow is really the glue.
Right. Because
Romy and Michele are great characters. And I am blanking on the quote that Romy says, but it has to do with like they're like I forget the famous quote, but there's a famous quote in this. It's very quotable.
Beats me.
Honestly, if I watch this a couple more times, I'm sure I can pick up on all the big ones. You know, sort of like in the vein of Clueless or 10 Things I Hate About You for me. And no, I love this movie now. And
are you? So my question is, would you? And you've already answered it, but it's a formality. Would you? Yell at the person who recommended this to you, or would you thank them? Are you glad you've seen this movie now? No,
I'm very glad I saw this. I wouldn't yell at them. Even if the movie ended up being bad, I wouldn't yell at them. I would just be like, why did you why the fuck did you make me see that? I would just do the disappointed dad thing. I would just put my arm on their shoulder and just go, why'd you make me do that? Just because it hurts so much worse when it's the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Oh, it is.
We've all had those moments, and they hurt so much, even though we don't want to admit it.
It is.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend this movie to anybody who just wants to have a good time. Just don't look at it like it's not going to win any Oscars or anything. If you want to look for a film that explains the meaning of life, watch something else. If you just want to have a good time, have a few laughs, and see what it was like back in the late 90s,
great.
Watch this movie.
Yeah, man. I love it. Personally, myself, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad I got you to watch this movie. Me, I'm not. I've seen it once before, like I said, but I could have taken it or leaving it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'll probably keep playing in my normal sandbox of other movies, but yeah, it's great. So, this is awesome. And we got to start up that Simpsons talk, though. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. The first maybe 10 seasons.
I do them all. I'm a mad.
Those are the best.
They are the best, though. Okay, so Billy, where can my good listeners find you?
Well, first, I just want to say hi to all the listeners. Thank you for listening to this awesome dudes show. And you can find me on Twitter at BBusterBill. All the B's are capitalized. You can find me on Instagram, BlockbusterBill, not capitalized. And just hit me up. I love talking movies. I love all sorts of movies, from classical to cult status films. And I'm always interested in hearing different points of views, different upbringings. And yeah, you can find me there, and you can find me on the Odd Shaped channel. I contribute a lot there, and I'm a big fan of theirs. That is how me and Joe met, and it has been a pretty good friendship ever since.
Yeah, Bill's a good dude, and Billy pops up a lot on a lot of shows, and you really contribute. And I know everyone appreciates that. So you could find me, and Billy's information will be down below in the information. I'm sure you all follow him anyway.
Not all. I have some people don't like me. That's okay.
You can find me. We all like you, Billy. You can find me with this show. Obviously, if you made it this far, you go fuck yourself. And my link is Chendango on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram. I'm not good at that one, but just follow me on Twitter. I'm sure I'll be saying something dumb. All right, and that was Romy and Michele's high school reunion. Good day.